Good evening. Welcome to the second edition of Immigration Research Forum's event celebrating outstanding Romanian American women in the arts and sciences. My name is Theodor Stan. I'm the founding president of the Immigration Research Forum, established by a group of Romanian Americans in Washington, D.C. in 2019. IRF seeks to research the wave of Southeast European migration to the United States and the resilience factors which determine their full integration and upward social mobility within American society. The IRF seeks to serve as a platform shaping several communities of practice in the following fields: medicine and public health, legal counseling, development and public policy, STEM and IT, community civic engagement and social entrepreneurship, arts and culture. The field-specific IRF councils are asked to identify remarkable diaspora figures to be assumed and positioned as role models, as well as to identify expertise um, and projects of excellence that address the evolving needs of our diaspora. We hope you will join our virtual councils and that you will participate in our next annual conference of Romanian American professionals. This third edition of the conference is scheduled for the first week of June. Happy International Women's Day. Hope you feel loved and have a Dragobete in your life. Hope you chose already your Omen Babele Day. I fittingly chose mine today. May it please Babadokia. Um, Wherever you're joining us from this evening, I hope your home and your childhood memories still have the aroma of freshly baked walnut and honey mucenic. It strikes me as a tradition that honored people who stood up for the values they professed, and as a tradition of women baking and sharing Swiss morsels, it strikes me as a tradition that highlights the need to build a community of trust, of support, of interdependence, because there's so much work ahead of us in nurturing values of tolerance, of inclusivity, and dialogue within our diaspora hubs. And women have, since times immemorial, been the anchors that build our communities. Um, so this evening is dedicated to you. The first edition of this event was graciously hosted by the Ambassador of Romania to the United States of America, His Excellency Mr. George Cristian Mayor and Mrs. Ana Maria Mayor, hosted this event in past years in an attempt to reach out and bring together members of the diverse and often heterogeneous Romanian American community. This evening's gathering builds on their efforts over the years, especially of Mrs. Ana Maria Mayor and a group of her close women confidants in the capital who held such cultural salons in the past. Mrs. Ana Maria Mayor established the Agostina Puzura Foundation in memory of her father here in the United States as a platform bridging the cultural life of the diaspora with that of Romania, where the foundation publishes Revista Cultura, an online and print publication that allows us to remain connected to the cultural dynamics there. The reception held last year was the last such event, in-person social event in Washington, D.C. For our capital diaspora, only days before the lockdown required by the horrendous pandemic that has claimed the lives of so many and robbed us of our sense of safety found in physical social gatherings. Um, Last year, I called on the participants to the event not just to wear the Mercy Shore amulets, but to be a talisman of inspiration, to be public role models, active nurturers of inclusivity, active mentors and healers of our broken sense of belonging. Last year and now, I call on you to encourage young women to imagine themselves within a continuum of belonging, within a culture rich in resilient and trailblazing women. We are custodians shaping and decanting a rich repository of Romanian traditions for our rituals, for our lore and of social cohesion to be passed on and survive They must be made relevant to the next generation, given new meaning as anchors in our global villages of belonging. I call on you to get involved in our various communities of practice, our IRF councils, and become mentors and supportive peers. A few logistic aspects. I ask you to please mute your audio while we are listening to these messages from various diaspora hubs. The recordings will be available online should we experience any technical challenges, and for you to revisit and share widely within your networks of peers. As we listen to our evening's featured ladies, you will find to the side information about their work in the chat box. Um, if you feel so moved, please write to them directly on the chat, get involved, and find out how you may lend your support to their local efforts. Secondly, I ask each of you here this evening to write on the group chat, sharing with us all one morsel of your experience, of your life experience this year, and one hope for the year ahead. You may, if you could, please answer the question: in this particular time in your life, through this particularly challenging time, and bearing the social cultural context of your immediate local community, what have you done, what are you doing or hope to do to inspire and have a positive impact on the lives of other vulnerable newcomers to our immigrant communities, particularly those members of our community who are facing challenges, who face loss and anxiety, and who need an efficient use of our limited resources, our knowledge, and the support to fully integrate and reach their potential. Please actively engage with the group as this is an evening of networking, of community building, and of sharing the work we each do in our corner of the world. Um, as time allows, we may select some of your answers and read your brief responses to the group. The group chat will be available to all participants, as will our recording of this evening. Enjoy.